you feel like you don't want to give it to him, guess what? Don't ask him where he's going. Don't ask him where you been. If you're not interested, cool. Let him go do his thing then. How dare you think that you just all that where, oh, I could just not give him some. Play them games with the right man. He got 5 other chicks in his phone book right now that's swinging from a shower curtain. Trust me. The most abusive thing a woman can do is to sit, make that man either be in a relationship with you, marry you, and then turn around and stop giving him what you promised. And there's no excuse. So if you're with somebody and they not giving it up, it's not cheating if you go get it from somewhere else. Period. Because you went against the agreement first. That was you. I ain't signed up for this to be told no. He is then within his right to have another woman perform that duty that you didn't perform, especially if you're married.
No, that was spot on. A lot of people would just be like, yo, I signed up for this. The nature of a man is high. You know, before we got married that I like getting it on. Well, women are sexual creatures too, but men definitely are, and men like to get laid on the regular. And it relieves the stress. It's a time to bond with your woman, and it keeps him not wanting to stray out for the most part. But if you're just like, I already got the ring, I already won the prize, I don't need to deal with all that. Hey, that's what you'll see what comes along with it. But you don't want to sleep with him, but you don't want him to stray outside, which is crazy in itself. There's a video before I get into this next story here. I believe their name is Deval. They're a couple, and he was saying basically she tricked him because he likes to have sex, and she just was like, I'm not into all that. He was just like, yo, I'm trying to get it in, and you just like, whatever like that. But I'll link it here for you guys to check it out. But let's get into this one here where this guy made a post about him and his wife. Let's go. So he says, today I gave up on sex with my wife. This is my version of a story told many times before. I, 27-year-old male, am going to stop initiating sex with my wife, 25-year-old female, because she never initiates. When we do have sex, it's only because I asked, and there is nothing sexy about it. All of my sweet talk, subtle gestures, etc. get me nowhere. I absolutely understand that sex is not the be-all, end-all. We are extremely compatible, and she is my best friend. I have heard the phrase, my partner feels more like a roommate, and that has helped me understand what I am feeling. She has expressed before that sex doesn't hold the same value in a relationship that I believe it does, which hurt to hear, but I have to respect her opinion. Before you comment, talk to her. I can assure you I have. We've had this discussion about every 6 months where I admit that I am sexually frustrated and want to talk about this in a completely neutral environment. Normally the conversations lead to her crying and I apologize, or she says she will be more open to initiating, which never happens. I'm ashamed to bring this to Reddit, but I need a third-party opinion. I love her so much and I'm hurting. This guy right here is 27 years old. His wife is 25. He says something about initiating, which a lot of times men do initiate. Right? I'm not saying that women don't initiate, but women should initiate some sort of affection. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual in nature, but women tend to initiate some sort of affection, whether she's hugging, kissing, things like that. And men, you should be doing the same thing. I'm not blaming on you at all, bro, but some women just aren't into you anymore. Some women can't communicate. They're afraid to tell you what it is that they like. They won't say certain things, and you sitting there, you trying to get it in, and she's disinterested, but she don't want you to step out. But you got to think, some of the dudes she's probably been with before, she'll love to do that. That's why I say a woman, especially if she has a promiscuous past, and she's just like, okay, I'll settle for you. How was she before you married her? I'm not saying you could have a Christian background, whatever have you, but that's things you need to think about. If women completely switch once you get married, that's not a good sign, man. And you're young. She's young. So to be like this and she's just not sexually interested means she's just not into you. Now, if you're saying you want to have a third party involved, you guys have tried counseling and all that, which a lot of people do, and it still doesn't change. It's not your cup of tea. She should be just as into you as you're into her. And if you communicated that and you guys have sat down and say, hey, what do you need from me? And if she's like, nothing, hey, that's just what it is, bro. You're just going to be like, hey, this is what I need. And I know you said on here that my partner feels more like a roommate. Sometimes that's how it turns out. And a lot of times that's not what you want. And a woman shouldn't want that. A woman should want to be with somebody that makes her feel electric. And if you're not making her feel that way, maybe sometimes you're not the guy for her. And I understand some relationships are non-sexual. They can just be married. We have a good time together, things like that. But you say all my sweet talk, subtle gestures, etc., it gets you nowhere. That could be just not the one for her sexually. And so have that conversation with her, and you may have to venture elsewhere. Let's get on to the next clip though, guys. Let's go.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. The men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex, because he can get sex from multiple women. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them these women do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can now have nurturing, you can have support, you can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
Now, that's a different way of looking at it, what she explained. He didn't go into detail on that last one so much of what really happened, but it sounds like she just wasn't into him. It doesn't sound like she was disrespecting him, but she's pulling away or pulled away in terms of the love making and things like that. Now, she said something important in the beginning. She said a man, and as you get older, you'll notice this, for a lot of you men, it's not always about the sex. Javon, I had him on the show, and he said sex is at the bottom of the list. And I get what he's saying. It's not as important as it would be when you're young, but it's at the bottom of the list. If you have a woman that you can't trust, that you can't confide in, that doesn't reassure you, help you, is not loving, caring, not someone for you to talk to and discuss things with and have fun with, laugh, and she's just angry, upset, cold, standoffish, stonewalling you, then what good is sex if it's just like, and that's what you guys a lot of times need to re-examine. You just like, I just need some buns. I don't care about any of that. If that's how you feel in life, then go about your way. You might as well get you a professional 304 and just pay her to leave. Have her do her thing, pay her to leave, and you just live the life of a bachelor like that without a woman beside you. But some men, especially in terms of this being your wife, you want all those things and you want to have a good time. You want to have sex because it's a great thing. It's better with your wife than to be dealing with 10, 20 women in the street. Just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think, though. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos that's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.